Ricky Beggs, VP and Managing Editor at Black Book, on why the used car market is climbing right now and how the current crisis will bring about a drastic change in the size of the cars of the future.
I see the used car market continuing to be strong for the next couple of years, 2 to 3 years anyway. And basically because of supply, basically because of the economy. There's still a lot of unrest out there and uncertainty from the consumer side of the business. You know, do they have confidence to go spend $30,000, $35,000 for a new car and tie themselves up for 5 or 6 years? A lot of consumers still don't have that. You know, but they feel a little more comfortable. They got to have transportation that they'll buy that used car that may be $12,000 or $15,000 a year and tying their loan up for 3 years. So I think there's still a focus on the used car business as well. Do we need to sell new cars? Yes, we need to sell new cars as well, because that's the supply of used cars down the road. There are companies getting back into the leasing business now. I think the reason they got out of the leasing business to start with was because there was a lack of funding available to fund that lease. So they didn't have it, so they had to get out of that particular form of finance and sales because it did tie up money for a long time. But I see companies coming back into it. There were some announcements just this week about getting back into the leasing business. Do I see us getting back into the high 20% level industry-wide? No, I don't see us going that high. But it's still a viable finance tool. When leasing was so high, it was being pushed as a low payment. And I think people were pushing it as a payment, not as a good sales tool. They were just trying to move product. There was a good, strong supply of new cars out there that had to be sold some way or another, and that was a form of incentive that was put out there. As we go forward in talking with various manufacturers and seeing their product plans and what's coming, I think we're going to see a change in the type of vehicles that are out there overall. We're already seeing that in this aspect of the volume of full-size SUVs and the truck-based SUVs going away. And if they're not going away, at least their volumes are being cut down tremendously. Because of that, because of the lack of supply of those vehicles going forward, there's still a customer base that needs that kind of vehicle for that functionality, for that towing capability, for that space. So that customer that needs that type vehicle, he's still going to need it whether the gas is at $2.50 a gallon or whether gas is at $3.50 a gallon. And I think that we'll see those vehicles come back in the used car market and continue to maintain some strength. Will they be at the high crazy numbers that we saw years ago? No, they won't be that high. But because of the supply that's out there, I still think they will hold up extremely well. It's a challenge to say what's really going to be out there. But as we go forward with CAFE requirements changing in 2016 to 35.5 miles a gallon overall, the type of vehicle we're going to see in volumes is going to change. It's going to be a smaller vehicle. It's going to be a lighter vehicle. It's going to be a vehicle with smaller engine displacement. How do you get higher fuel economy? Push less weight, and that means a smaller car. And I think that's what we're going to see down the road.